On Hot Copy this morning, murder complaints filed against the self-confessed killer of veteran Filipino media man Percy Lapid. Johnson Manabat reports.
The brother of slain broadcaster Percy Lapid now convinced with the testimony of the self-confessed gunman. Roy Mabasa faced his brother's alleged killer, Joel Estorial, who walked authorities through the crime scene Tuesday. Mabasa says their conversation helped ease some of his doubts on Estorial's claims.
Base sa aking pakikipag-usap sa kanya kagabi, pinaniniwalaan ko yung kanyang mga testimonya sa harapan ko. Very consistent yung mga sinasabi niya doon sa nais naming malaman at saka doon sa walkthrough na ginawa namin kung paano nila pinagandaan yung pagpatay sa aking kapatid at ganun din kung paano nila isinagawa yung pagpatay.
During Mabasa's conversation with the suspect, he was told that Estorial was hired for the job by a middleman in Bilibid. Mabasa also learned the reason why Estorial surrendered to the police.
Nung tinawagan daw siya ng middleman at sinabing ilalagay na sila sa safe house, doon na siya nag-decide na maghanap na ng kakilala kung paano siya susuko sa otoridad. Dahil ang ibig sabihin ng safe house para sa kanya ay papatayin na sila.
On Wednesday, Roy Mabasa personally went to the Department of Justice to affirm the murder case that was filed by the Philippine National Police against Estorial and 3 other persons of interest.
Nandito po tayo sa DOJ upang i-formalize yung ating paghahain ng complaint laban dun sa sumuko na alleged gunman sa aking kapatid na si Percy Lapid. Ito po ay inaasahan nating gugulong agad at tayo ay patuloy pa rin makikipag-ugnayan sa lahat ng otoridad.
The NCRPO has released the images of the 3 other persons of interest that Estorial claimed were his accomplices. A 6.5 million bounty was offered to anyone who can provide information about their whereabouts. Mabasa's family is also urging authorities to secure the safety of that middleman from Bilibid in hopes of catching the actual mastermind.
Sapagkat kapag may nangyari sa middleman, ay para na nating na-conclude na tapos na itong kasong ito.
Meanwhile, Southern Police District Director Brigadier General Kirby Kraft admits that despite having custody of the alleged gunman, they still haven't identified any motives to the crime.
Wala pa po tayong motibo kasi po lumalabas po na hard killer po itong mga ito. Sa na binayaran sila ng 550,000 pesos. So, yung contact nila, yun lang yung susunod natin na iniimbestigahan, binabalidate. Sabi niya kasi...
And joining us this morning, we have PNP officer in charge for the Office of the Deputy Chief for Administration, Lieutenant General Rodel Sermonia. General Sermonia, good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning to all the televiewers of your show.
All right. Now, last night you confirmed that the middleman that was identified by the suspect, the self-confessed killer, Joel Estorial, you have identified that he is indeed in jail.
Tama po yun, ma'am. It's correct. The middleman who contacted Joel Estorial is now in jail.
Okay. Saang kulungan po ito, sir? Sa Bilibid po ba? Sa Muntinlupa o ibang kulungan?
Ma'am, sorry po ma'am, I cannot divulge the exact location of the jail now for us not to jeopardize the ongoing follow-up operations as well as the investigation that is now being conducted by the SITG.
And how have you secured this inmate's safety?
Yes, ma'am, we have already coordinated to the in charge of that particular detention cell for the protection and security of the middleman.
Oo. Pasensya na, General. So ano po ang ginawa ninyo? Kumbaga, inihiwalay po ba siya o inilipat muna siya sa PNP detention cell o nandun pa rin po?
Of course, hindi po natin pwedeng ilipat agad-agad yan. Kailangan po, we have to secure a court order before we can transfer detainees. And the best that we have done so far is to coordinate it with the in charge of the detention cell so that security will be given to him.
And how do you know that this is the specific middleman who allegedly called Joel Estorial? Joel named him?
Tama po yun. All informations came from Joel based on his extrajudicial confession po.
And what is his history with this middleman, this inmate? Matagal na ba silang magkaibigan? Have they done business before? Why would he call Joel Estorial?
Ma'am, actually, we have not established specific or an in-depth investigation on the relationship of Joel Estorial with that of the middleman. That's still being done by our investigators.
All right. I'm curious, with this middleman, is he already a convicted criminal or he is still undergoing trial, awaiting decision?
He is still undergoing trial, awaiting decision, ma'am.
Oh, so ibig sabihin, wala po siya sa New Bilibid prisons.
Ayun, nagbigay na ako ng hint.
Oo,
Yes.
yun na yun. Kasi po, kung convicted po yun, nandun na po yun. Kung hindi,
Ayun.
wala po siya sa
I
Muntinlupa.
expect that, ma'am. Yan po yung sasabihin niyo. Thank you, ma'am.
Oo. All right. So, okay, that's number one. Number two, this particular middleman, right now, has he spoken with the police, and is he willing to identify the alleged mastermind who ordered him to call Joel Estorial?
As I have said, ma'am, our Special Investigation Task Group is still in the process of conducting an in-depth investigation, specifically establishing the true background of the middleman. So I cannot divulge right now any information about the middleman.
Did Joel Estorial at the very least describe his relationship with the middleman?
Ang sinabi niya po sa statement niya, generic po kasi, he was just contacted, then he did not specify. Of course, we respect whatever statement he gave us because when he gave his statement, it was under the supervision of his own lawyer.
Okay. Would you be able to share ano po ang kaso na kinakaharap ng middleman na ito? Ito ba ay drug-related, kidnap for ransom, ano po?
Drug-related po.
Drug-related. Okay. Now, Roy Mabasa, when I spoke with him, says he is convinced that Joel Estorial is the killer. Kumbinsido po siya. Ito na po ang kapatid ni Percy Lapid, no? He is convinced. He said that Joel Estorial is a self-confessed professional killer. Did he also admit that in his extrajudicial confession?
That he is a self-confessed.
That he is a professional hired killer. Ibig sabihin, matagal na niya itong ginagawa.
Ma'am, actually, I've not heard about that. But if he confess it, definitely he's into that. And we do appreciate also the gesture given by the brother of Percy Lapid, si Sir Roy Mabasa, for appreciating the efforts of our investigators.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you, I've been a journalist for over 28 years. And do you remember the Philip Medel admission that he killed Nida Blanca?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right? So this was a famous case. I interviewed Philip Medel. He admitted in detail that he killed Nida Blanca only to recant it. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am, I do remember
after. And we were all shocked. He claims that he did not kill Nida Blanca, that he was the fall guy, but he had a very detailed confession as well. And Philip Medel also surrendered voluntarily to the PNP. So my question is, you've been doing this job for a long time. Why would a hired killer suddenly develop a conscience and surrender to the PNP? Pwede naman siyang magtago. And not only that, dala pa niya ang baril na ginamit niya sa pagpatay. In other words, if you're a hired killer, why would you even keep the murder weapon? It's,
alam mo, ma'am,
you understand, General,
yes,
no?
Yeah, I understand. I do understand. But we have to understand that we are just human beings. So it's just a human instinct for a person who thinks that his life is in danger to do the best thing to secure his life. And I do believe that that's the feeling of Joel Estorial now. And with this, aside from that extrajudicial confession made by Joel, there are also other pieces of evidence that will prove that Joel is really saying the truth, telling the truth. Like for example, yung damit na nagamit niya was already part of the pieces of evidence. Of course, the cartridges, the slugs, matches, the result of the forensic laboratory, and other pieces of evidence.
Because he presented his gun.
Yes, ma'am.
He brought his gun.
He brought his gun, and at the same time, the one that was recovered in the crime scene matches the cartridges and the slugs. So it's a scientific way of finding whether that evidence is true or not.
Okay, but could it be possible that Mr. Estorial, kumbaga talagang pinakawalan siya, kumbaga pinilit siyang lumitaw? Could he be hiding or protecting somebody else who's really behind the killing?
That is to be considered, ma'am. Thank you for telling that. All avenues has to be given weight so that we will get into the bottom of this case. So we cannot just discard this information or whatever what is in our mind that can really help us in the truthfulness of the investigation.
I'm curious, General, no? I know that results of a lie detector test are not admitted. It's not admissible in court.
In court, yeah.
But all over the world and even the Philippine National Police, are you allowed to use that as an additional tool to see if somebody is telling the truth? Is that allowed under the law, or is that allowed in your practice?
We use it as a tool to help us in the conduct of investigation. Though it's not admissible in court, but it can help a lot to establish the truthfulness of the witnesses, and at the same time the truthfulness of the confessions done by suspects or witnesses.
Because right now we are focused on, of course, the self-confessed gunman. Now, Roy Mabasa himself is convinced eto na daw yun, and plus the 5 others who he claims nakasama niya. But the big question is who ordered the killing, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
That's the question.
That's the question. The reason why we really need to secure the middleman, because the middleman will be a great help in establishing who is the mastermind.
And what if the middleman refuses to help? I mean, you have to remember, the middleman is facing drug-related charges. Clearly, what's in it for him, right? If you're the middleman, he can choose to stay silent.
I agree, ma'am. He can choose to stay silent, but then again, we will not stop to further improve our investigation. So there will be an in-depth investigation, which is now being done by our Special Investigation Task Group. So we will continue doing our job, and of course, we need the help of the community, especially now that we have shown to them the photos of the Kulangan brothers. So we need informations coming from our kababayans.
All right. Okay, I'm curious, General, from your end, have you ordered any of your lower officers to also visit homes of journalists? Did you take part in that?
That was the instruction of our NCRPO Director, Brigadier General Joel Estorial. It was really it has a very good intention, but I think the manner in one of that incident where a policeman in a civilian attire visited one of our friends from the media. So it was not that the way that we wanted it to implement. So we cautioned him. I actually ordered a board of inquiry regarding the instruction of Joel Estorial, though the intention was good.
Okay. And with the Board of Inquiry, what could the results be? Would this mean that it can go as one of the officers being relieved from his post, or it's really just guiding the officers to doing something differently or the right way to do things?
It depends, ma'am. It's good also that, of course, we have to establish some operational procedure, guiding them on the proper way on how to do it. And at the same time, if they really committed some lapses or mistakes, then there will be proper charges against them. But we're still in the process of conducting that board of inquiry.
Okay. My last question, General. I believe there's a 6.5 million peso reward. Tama ito, no? Is it for the 5 suspects or just the 2?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not privy for that. I don't know if it's for the 2 or for the 5. What I just heard is there's a more than 6 million reward money, but I'm going to check onto that. Who's going to receive that 5 million money if we don't know kung yung pag-surrender ba yan, the mga gunman, or if we will get into the bottom of identifying the mastermind.
Okay. Now, halimbawa po lumabas ang interview na ito at marinig kayo nung dalawa pang kasamahan ni Joel Estorial. Ano pong mensahe niyo sa kanila, and will the case or the way will things change with their situation in terms of the case if they surrender themselves?
Una po sa lahat, sasabihin ko po na ang hustisya po ay talagang makakamtan at mahaba po ang kamay ng batas. Kumbaga, maaabot natin sila kung nasan man sila nagtatago. Para sa kanilang seguridad, it's better po na mag-surrender sila voluntarily and makipag-cooperate po sila sa ating mga investigador. At makakaasa po sila na sila po ay ating iingatan.
On that note, thank you very much for joining me this morning, Lieutenant General Rodel Sermonia. Good luck to you, sir.
Magandang umaga po, ma'am. Maraming salamat din.
All right.